How many people spend $5 a day on Starbucks coffee? Or even have, I can honestly say, a nasty habit of buying cigarettes that are between $5 and $10 a day? I have other people that would even ask, how many people spend $10 for lunch on a daily basis? Well, this is what I'm going to ask you. How would you like to be a millionaire in 40 years? With Alex's ways, I'm going to tell you how. Just kidding. Now, this is truly an episode on, can you realistically become a millionaire on a valet salary? And the answer is, bottom line, yes. Yes, you can. People realistically will ask, hey Alex, how can you possibly be a millionaire if you only make a valet salary, which is, let's say, $10 to $15 an hour? The answer is easy, and I'm going to give you a few shortcuts. No, this is not an infomercial, and let me honestly start out by saying I am not a tax expert, I am not a financial expert, but what I do know is if you are disciplined and you are consistent, then you yourself can become a millionaire within 30 to 40 years. I know a lot of people are saying 30 to 40 years, Alex, that's insane. I don't want to do it. I want to do it right now. I look at Instagram, I look at Facebook, I look at all these things. I want to ball out like these other people. The secret is it does not work that way. As you guys have learned in a lot of my other videos, that I rent my cars out to different video productions and rappers and all that stuff. So the stuff that you see or the things that you see on Instagram are not true. These are really people using other people's assets to make them look like they're more wealthier than they are. So please do not get wrapped up in that. And if you really do listen to me, I will show you the ways on how to be consistent. And at the age of, let's say you're 25 years old now, by the time you reach 65 years old, which is 40 years, and I'll even give you methods if it's 30 years or even 20 years or something like that, but you can be wealthy and you can be a millionaire. So you ask, Alex, what can I really do? How can I save $500 a month just to invest? Well, the answer is easy. I'm sure $500 a month breaks down to about $16 a day. I guarantee on a daily basis that you guys eat, drink, smoke, whatever on a daily basis more than $16 a day. I'm sure if you really look in your bank account and really analyze where your money is going, I guarantee you can sacrifice and invest $500 a month. But what do you say? Hey, Alex, I really can't. I'm on a strict budget. What you can do, I know a lot of people have Netflix, so you can cut out your cable. You can look at different ways. You can lower your utilities. You can get roommates. Something else you can do that's very simple, stop eating takeout. I know, and this actually blows my mind. I went to one of my accounts the other day, and I was sitting there and I was waiting for the next person to get there because I wanted to see the next shift and look at additional training. While I'm throwing away trash, I see the valet from the previous shift had ordered lunch, and his lunch was $25. $25. I don't even eat $25 lunches, but he had a lunch that was $25, and I could tell by moving the bag he didn't even eat all of it. So simple things like that. If you make your own lunch, then you're saving that money. You buy a loaf of bread, you get certain kind of meats and different things like that. I know it sounds corny, but if you really want to make those sacrifices, then you can. And I'm not saying starve yourself and cheat yourself out of a good life, because of course there are things that you can splurge with, but on a consistent basis, you can do these types of things to save up to $500 a month. Okay, now Alex, what do I do with this $500 a month? You now invest it. There are many different things that you can invest it into. If you're comfortable with stocks, we'll get into that subject in a minute, you can do as simple as IRA. But even before then, I'm going to tell you, you need to have at least 6 to 9 months worth of savings. And if you don't have that, don't even worry about investing right now. I want you to have at least 6 to 9 months worth of savings, and the savings is of whatever your monthly cost is. Let's say it's $2,000 a month. You need to have that saved up at least for 6 months. So yes, that's almost $12,000 saved up. Again, Alex, how do you do that? You have to be disciplined enough to put away $500 a month until you amass that safety net for yourself. Now, beyond your savings, then you need to have other things in place. Before you even get into stocks, even before you get into other things, have a nice mutual fund or even an IRA. What an IRA is, an individual retirement account, and that's something that you use towards retirement. And a lot of you guys are sitting there saying, Alex, I'm only 20-something years old. Why am I looking towards retirement? Trust me, Once you hit your 30s, your days are going to start flying by, and you're going to only wish that you started when you were 25 years old. So you can start with an IRA, and that could start at the youngest age. And another reason I'm bringing this video up, because here in America, a lot of people got their stimulus checks yesterday or today or even tomorrow. So a lot of people have this $1,400 and they're going on spending sprees like crazy, buying useless things that they don't need when they really should take that money and start investing. Also, this is near tax time, which is April 15th for the most part, is your deadline. Then that is a moment where you get your tax return and you're really able to invest this money. This is a perfect time for you to start investing. And there's all different ways that you can start investing, and we're going to talk about a few right now. For me, my number one method on investing is real estate. Real estate is the key, and for the most part is going to increase in price on average about 5% per year. That's safety, that's with you, a place to lay your head. You're no longer paying rent. And what's great about that, I purchased my first house, I think I was about 22 years old. And what I did, my mom was a little apprehensive about it, but I told her what my game plan was, and she was all for it. I purchased a particular house, and I think the house was about $100,000. And what I did, I actually bought in roommates. If you bring in a roommate, the roommate's paying X amount of dollars, which essentially pays for over half your mortgage. So if you're paying, guaranteed when you're paying a mortgage, your mortgage will always be cheaper than any place that you rent. Now, of course, you can have some deals where you're sleeping in someone's basement and you're only paying them $500. But when I was paying rent, my rent was almost $1,000 a month. When I got my house, my mortgage was about $600 a month. I put a roommate in, he was paying $500 of that mortgage, therefore I was only paying $100 plus utilities to live in that house. Now, tell me that doesn't make sense. So if you do that right off the top, then that's one of the strongest ways you can start accumulating wealth. Beyond that, the second thing that you can do is, well, let's back up. Alex, how do you get enough money to put down on a house? Let's say you have a $100,000 house. On average, right now, the lowest down payment is maybe 3%, but you can even do 5% or 10%. So 3% of $100,000 is what? $3,000. All you have to save is $3,000, $500 a month. That's 6 months. You have enough to put down on a house. That's amazing, and a lot of people can do it. Now, obviously, the more you can put down, the better it is, because your interest rates will actually be lower. But overall, it's a great deal, and it's much smarter than just renting right off the top. The next level, we're going to speak about stocks really quickly. A lot of people want to talk about stocks because that's the newest, hottest trend. Now, my number one investment advice, and people come up to me all the time, hey Alex, what about cryptocurrency? What about Forex? What about this? What about that? And my theory is this. One, would you or could you tell me in one sentence what cryptocurrency is? Could you tell me what blockchain is? Chances are it's probably not, because it's not easily understood. And people figure, oh, if it's really complicated and it's hard to understand and it's hard to communicate, it must be good. Wrong. I don't agree with that at all. I'm in a mindset, you first have to find out what kind of investor you are. I'm a long-term investor, which means I put my money in and I let time take its place. So I invest in things that I know, things that I understand, truly understand, and things that I could explain as simple as it is. People might ask me, Alex, what do you invest in? I invest in real estate. I invest in different types of mutual funds. I have, of course, IRAs and everything like that. But I do dabble in individual stocks. And I'm not even going to say dabble. I really do invest in different types of stocks. Number one stocks I do, someone mentioned it before, that I actually have an Android phone. But what stock do I invest in the most? Apple. Why? Because I guarantee 75% of the people who are watching this video are Apple users. So tell me, by a raise of hands or whatever, put it in the comments if you're an Apple user or Android user. But I have a funny feeling it's more Apple than Android. So I invest in Apple. Apple's a good company. I just don't like them for my phones because Android actually works better as a business phone. Now, Apple also has a cult-like following. They have very good product overall, but I think it's a solid stock. It does well. And if you invested in Apple in 2007, by 2017, the stock was up almost 1,000%. So it was an incredible stock. So I did really well. They do their splits. They actually do dividend payments. And what dividends is, they pay you as a reward at the end of the year for investing in their stocks in the first place. Now, beyond that, I invested in Walmart. Walmart's a great company. I invested in Home Depot. Home Depot is a great predictor of what the housing market's going to do. So if you look at Home Depot, you could pretty much tell, predicated on what their stock is doing, what the future of the housing market's going to do. And the housing market, for me, really dictates what the economy is going to do. So I can get into that a little bit further. There's so much to talk about. I think I'm actually going to do a part 2 on this. But the bottom line, yes, as a valet, you can be a millionaire. And I'm going to give you one more short little blast before we end this one and continue on the next one. So if you invest $500 per month into any type, let's say a simple IRA, and you're yielding 7% profit, which is pretty average on an annual basis, then after 40 years, guaranteed you'll have probably about $1.1 million. So if you start at 25, by the age of 65, you'll have about $1.1 million just by investing $500 a month every single month for the next 40 years. And that is nothing. Again, remember, you can get to that point. So the simple answer is, on a valet salary, can a valet become a millionaire by investing a short amount of money? Absolutely. Definitely that is the case. So on the next episode, I want to dig in a little bit deeper on what we can do, how we can invest, and some of the strategic points that I've done in my life to make me successful, and you can do the same. So again, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and don't forget to tell me if you're Android or Apple user. We'll probably do a little thing there and do some type of tally, but I guarantee Apple's a very strong stock. Many of you use it, and we'll continue from there.